for my chat time. I feel title them, but this one's called Drifting Away. And it's going to start with a little bit of a story. When I was in high school, not being very athletic, I remember when I was actually not athletic at all. I can remember when I took swimming. I was giving myself a little too much credit, but when I was taking swimming, I moved at North Davis out of non-swimmers, first time in my life, to kind of an intermediate category that I think was created basically for me. And so I moved over with the swimmers. So one day, the teacher said, well, we're going to have a relay. So I don't think I've ever learned how to dive. I'm not really sure what I did that day because I had to dive in the pool and do a relay. But it was a tag relay. You swam to the end of the pool, and then you touched it and swam back and touched the hand of the next kid. So when it came my time, I was thinking, what am I going to do? I can't dive. But I did something, and I got in the water. I don't know how I got in. And I started swimming for all I was worth. And I liked swimming. And I was putting pedal to the metal, and I could hear the team behind me, my team, because we were competing against another team, and I could hear them yelling my name. And I thought, oh my gosh, for the first time in my life, this is what it's like to be athletic. So I was really swimming. And they got louder and louder, and I could hear, I'd raise my head out of the water, and I could hear. And when I got to the pool and touched it, what had happened and why they were yelling was because the kid beside me had gone straight, but I had gone diagonally, and what I had touched is the corner of the pool over there. And my team was back there yelling to try to get in. And so they were all back there going. So I had to swim back, touch. I think maybe she made me swim it straight. I can't remember. By then, you know, they were filing their nails and sitting down because they were waiting a long time. So I learned that I should have been paying attention because I drifted away. I didn't open my eyes underwater, and I didn't really look. I was putting all my energy into movement and none into my guidance system. So disaster. Okay, and then the second thing. This is a made-up story. Let's say family goes camping in a national forest. A man and a woman and their little boy Tony, the only child. And they're setting up their tent, doing some things, and they look up, and in a blink of an eye, as kids can do, Tony is gone. So they contact a park ranger who brings out people to help look for Tony, and they go out in couples to look for Tony. And it gets darker, and the parents are getting more and more desperate when the first couple that have been sent, the first searchers come back. They don't have Tony. And so the parents are frantic, and they said, what happened? What did you do? And they said, well, we were looking for him, but we found this great big patch of blackberries, and we thought, well, that'd be great for the searchers to snack on when they came back in. So we've gathered a bunch of those luscious blackberries. We've got them in our hoodie, and so they took them over to the table and dumped them out there. And the parents just kind of look at each other. The next couple comes back. They don't have Tony. And so the parents look and say, did you see any sign of him? And they said, well, at first we thought we were following a trail. We thought maybe, so there's some signs there, it might have been Tony. But they said we got to a certain point, we heard a loud noise, and there was a waterfall, a beautiful waterfall. So we went over to get a drink, and after we had a little bit to drink, in the waterfall, we thought, well, that'd be great for the searchers. We're going to fill our canteens. We're going to go back. So we brought back canteens full of fresh spring water, waterfall spring fed, so that when the searchers come back, and they took their canteens and put them on the table. Third couple comes back, no Tony. And the parents now very desperate because Tony is so valuable to them. The third couple comes back, and where's Tony? They said, we are so sorry. We actually thought we heard Tony's voice, and we were following. But as we were following, we got to talking about some personal problems that we had, and we started talking about how we could solve those problems, and we lost track of Tony's voice because we were talking to each other. And so darkness fell, no Tony. No Tony. A lot of the things got done, but nobody found Tony. That's a tragic story. Now, the tragedy of this story is tied in with, I've been reading a book called Who Wrote My Church? A book I bought because it was $5, and I thought the church on the front kind of looked like our church. So I thought, oh, I'll read it. I'm always reading books on how to do things. You know. And I read this book, and after I was marking pages, and as I marked pages, I realized everything in the book was speaking to me about drifting away. And so I realized that like the six people that went out looking for Tony, their original mission was to bring the boy back, but they got sidetracked. Did anybody notice that? They drifted away. Or like me in the pool, I drifted away from my original mission, which was to get straight across. And so I thought about the church. What is the church's one instruction? My one instruction, the relay race, swim straight across, touch, come back. Family looking, one mission, go out, find Tony. What's the mission of the church? Somebody's got to know. We're in trouble. We don't know. We're all in
Make
trouble.
disciples of Jesus Christ.
Right, that's our great commission. That's the one thing. That was the last thing we were told. It's not that we don't do other things, but that was what we were told. Okay. Now, I'm going to read you this list, and this really convicted me. Maybe it will have the same effect on you. Here's how you're going to know if you've drifted away. I'm going to read some things. Think about which would bother you more. What would bother you more? I'm going to name two things, and I'd like you to close your eyes so you can concentrate. Close your eyes, and when I read the two things, I want you to think seriously and honestly, because nobody can hear your thoughts, what would bother you more. A person lost in sin or a scratch on your new car. What would upset you more? Missing the worship service or missing a day's work? Your church not growing or your garden not growing? Your Bible unopened or your Instagram account unchecked? Your contributions decreasing or your income decreasing? Which would bother you more? Your children late for Sunday school or late for public school? Church work neglected or housework neglected? Which would bother you more? You miss a Bible class or a ball game of your favorite team on TV? And that's the last one I have. Did anybody find their answers, if they were honest, surprising? Did you find your answer a little surprising in your head, but you heard yourself thinking, oh my? I did. Anybody have that? Was I the only one? When I went through that, I thought, my gosh, I've drifted across the pool again. I didn't even know it. So you know what? We don't have to stay. Just like when I drifted across the pool, I had to come back and set it right. I had to come back and start over and go back. So, you know, I think we got to get back to our original mission. Not that other things aren't well and good, but that's not what we've been sent to do, right? We've not been sent out for blackberries or water or a good discussion, right? Wrong? I hope. So, that's where we start, right? That's where we start, not where we finish. That's where we start. Okay, so let's have prayer. Oh God, you gave us one thing. Go and make disciples all over the earth. And somehow, in the middle of that one rule, you've given us one request. And sometimes we're doing everything but. We're busy, we're working for you, and we may go down and sleep at night in our bed and think, I've done a lot for God today, and yet, we miss Tony. Father God, please help us to be a church that sees its number one priority and its number one mission and gets back to doing that. All of us as individuals, in our workplaces, in our homes, and everywhere we go. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.